Hi, everybody there. I'm back with another episode of Shut Up, Shut Up, Shut Up, Shadi. And today I've got a young, handsome, presentable young man, Arjun Jani. He's the founder of the Entrepreneurs of India. It's a very interesting concept. And I'm going to let Arjun speak about what he does quickly. Yes, Arjun, it's over to you.
First of all, thank you so much for this wonderful platform. I think it is platform like this which helps us to speak what we really want, and you act as a very strong voice for the people, for the youth, especially for the people who are facing various problems. So it empowers them, I believe. So I'm grateful for this opportunity. Thank you for inviting me. I'll quickly introduce myself. I am Arjun Jani. I'm the founder of a page that I run on Facebook and Instagram called the Entrepreneurs of India, where I share inspirational stories of entrepreneurs every single day. For that, I interview an entrepreneur, and it's been more than 1.5 years, and it's been a great journey. I've been connected with a lot of people, and including Nirja ma'am. I'm specifically saying that because I've featured her also. I'm grateful for that. And yeah, I'm 24 years old, and very, very grateful, very, very blessed with all the people that I've met, all the things that I learned in the past 1.5 years. And yeah,
Great, Arjun. And I have to put the record straight. We are a mutual admiration society here.
yeah.
And I want to ask Arjun right away. One of the things I see with young people around me and that concerns me, Arjun, is the amount of energy, time, and angst they put into their relationships today. And things used to be much more sorted for us. What is exactly going on with the young people? To talk about marriage in particular, what are the views the young people hold, especially somebody of your age, Arjun, about marriage?
I think I'm still a little old, I can say, but uh, to reveal something about myself, I think most people don't know this, but I was 13 years old. It is 11 years back. No, not even 11. Yeah, it's 11 years back. Uh, just 1 second, I'm getting it.
Yeah, your volume, Arjun.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay, am I audible now?
Yes.
Really sorry. So I want to reveal something today. I was 11 years back when I was 13 years old. Uh, I had my first relationship, believe it or not. I
Wow.
was 13 years old that time, and I don't know what that girl saw in me, but it went off very quickly because she was also young. Uh, but I think that if it can happen to me, I think it can, because I don't think I'm very good looking or all that. Not even very much into relationships and all that. But if I can get someone, I think most people can get. Uh, so I think it's going around, and I graduated from my college in 2017, which is not so long. So I saw a lot of people. I saw a lot of my friends going into relationships. I think it has to do something about exploration. You know, because youngsters have time in their hands,
Hmm.
especially when they are in college, and if they're not doing anything apart from what they're studying, I think they're doing something or the other. And believe it or not, I've seen a lot of people going into relationships and then breaking up and then getting again, and uh, but what concerns me is that they are not learning.
Hmm.
If something does not work out uh, in a relationship, they are not questioning that why is it happening, what is it that I can do to avoid that. Because I've had been in a few relationships, sorry to say, but I have. And I was 15 years old when I was very serious, and I did not like that we had to split, right?
Ah,
And so that time I told myself that this is stupid, this is really stupid, and I don't want, I will do anything to avoid something like this to happen.
uh,
So
um,
from then I've been a very straightforward person, and I'm looking forward to getting married directly. Maybe it's just me,
directly
I don't know
without a
what other,
relationship.
without a relationship. Like if I'm prepared to get married someday, which is not so soon, to tell you the truth, but
Hmm.
maybe 4 years, 5 years down the line,
Hmm.
I'll just select a person who is ready to accept me, of course. uh, Only then I'll get married. So
Hmm.
this is what I think about marriage as far as I'm concerned. But I see a lot of people crying, even if they're 22, even if they're 25, even if they're 30, believe it or not.
Hmm.
uh, you know and they complain that, okay, we were in a relationship and it did not work, and this and that. So I think relationship, you can afford to fail for once. If once your relationship is not working, I think that's okay. But marriage is a big commitment. If you are into it, you are into it, and if you want to go out of it, it's a big thing. It is something that you cannot. Uh, and this I am saying because I've interviewed a lot of people who have got divorced, and they tell me that how painful it was for them. So I think to have a happy marriage is very important. So it has to be done properly. It has to be done, I think, in the right time. So I think as a youth, as a 24-year-old, this is what I feel, that it's
Arjun,
something we have to take seriously. And yeah,
okay, I'm going to interrupt you here. When you say it has to be done at the right time, firstly, what is the right time? Secondly, 13 is not the right time to get into a relationship. That's the time, kind of time that we used to be spending on ourselves. Save your
yeah,
resources for yourself. First, you grow,
yeah,
you develop, you reach a certain
yeah,
level of maturity. That's something
yeah,
that really, like I said, it pains me when I see young people. I call it wasting their time on other
same
people
here.
who are as young as them, who are as floundering, as lost as them. So
Yes.
is it because it's become a trend and you want to keep up with it? You feel left out if you're not in a relationship. Everybody else around you is doing it, therefore it's cool and
Yeah.
part of the experience. Is that why
Yes.
young people go
Yes.
into get into
Yes.
relationships?
Yes. I think you are 100% right. A
Hmm.
lot of people go into it because their friends are going into it. I think we imitate the Western culture a lot. There it's a very common thing to go in a to get into a relationship or break up. But I think we have to put it. I've believe it or not, this one last week I've interviewed uh, youngsters who are 17 years old, 18 years old, 19 years old, working on their startup, working on something they really love doing.
Hmm.
you know I think the youth has to divert their energy in the right direction, in
Yes,
doing something that is productive, in doing something that makes them happy. you
absolutely.
know so all
Absolutely.
this, I think a person who is a wise person, who is a mature person,
Hmm.
will know that if I go into the relationship at this age, definitely there is a good chance that we might have to break up, because we don't have the commit, we don't know what it's like to commit to someone, or know how to handle that responsibility. So I
Right.
think it's better we take it in a positive way. And when I said that there is a right time for everything, there is a right time for everything. And we have to focus on us first. We have to make sure that we're empowered enough to
Yes.
take
Yes.
that responsibility, and only then we should take it. Otherwise, it can turn into chaos. No
Right,
doubt about
Arjun. You say
it.
that, right? You say that your I has to be strong before you say to
Yeah,
another person, I
yeah,
love you, right?
yeah, yeah,
There's one more thing that I hear from young people today, especially from boys.
mm,
I met a young person the other day, young man the other day, who said that he is scared of the girls today.
yeah.
What exactly does he mean? Are there other boys who are scared of girls, who are confused by the girls, who don't know what the girls expect from them in a relationship? Has that been your experience?
Yes, I'm very shy, believe it or not. Now I'm opening up because I have interviewed a lot of people, and uh, so I've been a very boy kind of a stuff. Like if you see me, I'll be in a group where there are friends and who are boys only. I'm very uncomfortable talking to girls because I think they're very sensitive, and I'm not able to open myself up properly. So I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I've seen a lot of people who are very confident and who just roam around with girls, and I don't know what not. But yeah, I've seen that. So yeah. But yeah, there are people like me. There are people like me who does not open up very easily in front of girls. So yeah.
The sense I got from, I understand what you're saying. There's also a sense that the girls are there's a confusion about their the gender identity or their roles or their characteristics, that there's so much of overlap now. A girl is also strong and a boy is also strong, or sometimes a boy
Yes.
is feminine. And have you seen that gender kind of fluidity, and your opinion about that? Is that happening
Yeah.
around you?
I think it has, because fortunately, I think that's a fortunate thing when a girl says that she is above men. I think that's a good thing. That's a good sign. That's a sign
Hmm.
of development in the right direction, because people from my parents' generation could not say that, because that time, how often did we see women taking that pride in saying that I'm above you? So I think there's a need of the hour. Some way, it is a good thing. But I think we should focus on the person themselves and not about who we are. We have to talk about who they are. I will not reveal the name, but a friend of mine, she she declined. She was going to watch this person, and so they were meeting that maybe they'll get married someday. So she was like, she said that I rejected him because his salary was less than mine.
Oh,
Can you believe that?
yeah.
So I said it's good. See, I'm not saying it's bad to earn more or whatever, but that should not become your reason to, that should not be your attitude towards, So
Mm,
I I think we can talk about these things and we'll find a lot of people, fitting into some or the other category. But I think the wisest thing is to be empowered first, and then, uh, you know, uh, so that's what I feel. Yeah, that's what I
absolutely.
feel. Yeah.
And Arjun, what do you think about your earlier generation, your parents' generation? When you look at them, do you feel that they missed out on life, that they compromised by marrying each other, that they just prefer to be safe and not really live like you're doing? Is that your sense?
So I'll say that whatever I am today is because of my father. I think the way, so my father and my mom belongs from a small village in Gujarat. I'm Gujarati. So my father came to Mumbai. He worked. He did a job for I think 7 8 years, and then he started his own business. He built his own empire. And so I think he's a very big. I take all my inspiration from him. I take all my big decisions from him, and he's a constant motivation for me. My mom, on the other hand, is she's a housewife. So I don't feel shameful in calling her housewife, because I think she invested a lot in us. I have an elder brother, and I take pride in that. But I think this situation was very common in my parents' generation.
Mm,
Like usually we see that the men are the one who are empowered because they had to run the family, and women used to take care of the family. If I have to put it that way.
right.
Today it's the complete opposite, because both are empowered equally. In some way, women are better than men. In some cases, men are better than women. So they take care. I've seen a lot of people, doing jobs, and so they have cooks. So the women don't even know how to cook. So episodes like this are very common these days. So I
Yes.
don't think that was common in that generation, because I remember this phrase कि बेटा रोटी गोल होनी चाहिए, रोटी गोल नहीं होगी तो रिश्ता नहीं मिलेगा. you know
गर्म होनी चाहिए, फुल्का
हाँ,
वो,
गरम होनी चाहिए.
yeah.
So अभी I don't think anybody knows cooking also from my age.
Hmm,
So especially in cities like Mumbai, Delhi, and Bangalore, and so
yeah.
times have changed completely, I can say. So yeah.
But in your generation, amongst your friends, Arjun, what percentage are like westernized, and are there a percentage of young people who feel that there's merit in what used to be traditionally our way of doing things?
I think if you see a child who has a mobile phone when he's in seventh or eighth grade, he's
Yes.
definitely going to have some Western influence, 101%, because he's
Hmm.
spending hours and hours using his mobile phone, and he's watched the world in his screens. So
Hmm.
I also belong to that. I also get influenced by them. I listen to their music. I watch their movies and whatnot. Uh, but I think it's not, if something looks good, visually, does not mean it is good in the real life. you
Right.
know a lot of the things we learn from our parents, which are authentic, which are Indian, which
Hmm.
actually means a lot to us.
Hmm.
But we are not focusing on that, because
Yeah.
I will not shy away in telling that we are naive in that. I am also naive. So when you grow up, now I'm learning that, oh,
Hmm.
this means something. This is an Indian dish, and this tastes like this. Because it is not put in a good way in front of you, we don't know it. We
Exactly.
have to respect our culture. We have to, not because we have to, I think we will automatically if we just explore more about our culture. So
Right.
I think that's what I learned from my parents when my mom told me कि ये इसको ऐसा बनाते हैं तो इसके पीछे कारण है. you know
Hmm.
कि
Hmm.
इस पहले ऐसा हुआ करता था, सो पहले ऐसा था, दिस दैट. सो यू लर्न ऑल दिस, तो कोई बताता नहीं है. एंड
Hmm.
माय ग्रैंडमा, आई कैन नेवर फॉरगेट. So she talks and talks and talks. So whenever I sit, she talks about her old days, the
Ah.
old India that she lived in, she grew up in,
Hmm.
and so this is something you can never see on the phone because it's not there.
Right.
So I think it's amazing if you know how India was and how India has come up.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think everybody should know about India. Definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And the reason, Arjun, I call this Shut Up Shadi is because I found that Shadi is a source of a lot of stress amongst young people, and it's a point of conflict between the
it
generations.
is. It
Because my
is.
generation equates it with becoming emotionally stable, finding your anchor, making a commitment, and that part is done. You have your best friend for life, and now you can focus on other things. And but I want to know from you. That's my last concluding question to you. Do you feel that you are richer or poorer for having been in all those relationships?
I think it was a mistake. 101% it was a mistake because I could have used that time, I could have used that energy. But on the other hand, I learned a lot from that. And I can call myself, I belong to that very of few people who actually learned from their relationships
Right.
and then eventually took it positively. But if I were 13 years old today, I would not make that mistake again. Never.
What did you learn? What did you learn, Arjun?
So I learned that like I said earlier, the things that look good does not
Mhm.
mean it's always good. So
Yes.
when you are falling into a relationship, everything looks beautiful. You're walking on the road, it's a beautiful road, everything is beautiful. But when you face the reality, it happened to me. I'll believe it or not, it happened to me. Even if you're in classes, you're not focusing, you're just visualizing, कि कहीं पे घूमने जाएंगे and this that. It happened with me. I will not lie. But when you face the reality, when you
Mm,
say कि okay, it's कब तक you can visualize, how long can you do it? At some point
mm,
you'll have to come back. You have to say okay, how are you doing? क्या खाना खाया? Uh, all that stuff. So then you realize, then it starts getting boring, and then you realize that it was a big mistake, because not because you don't like that person, you genuinely like that person, but you could have used that time in a better way. You could have used that time in doing better things. Definitely this
yeah.
is very much possible. And I think giving time to friends also is very important. Like
Yes.
I've seen a lot of people who
Oh, yes. Yes.
going into ki I have a date with her or I have a date
Mm,
with him and this that, and it may not mean anything to them. Although khali, because they have to go, they go, but they miss out on a lot of things which they could have done otherwise with their friends. Because when you get married, definitely the couple are going to roam the world or travel the world and spend a lot of time with each other. But that will be the time when you will not be able to spend time with your friends.
right.
So I think that's what I learned from.
And typically, one more thing, Arjun, from there, how do you balance your special friend and your family at that young an age?
So I think both have to respect each other.
Okay.
So if I'm telling my friends that my family and I are spending quality time, they have to respect it, and it is also my responsibility that I will also respect that. But if I'm telling my parents that we are planning to go out or we are planning to have a good time together, they will also respect it. So I
Mm,
think it goes both ways. I respect them, they respect us.
mm,
So both are important. And I
yeah.
grew up with my friends playing football and playing all the games. But today everyone is busy. My friends are doing their job. I'm doing my own work, and we are not able to meet. So we miss that. So
No, no, Arjun, I'm interrupting you, but I didn't mean your friends. I meant in a relationship, a girlfriend or a boyfriend.
oh
Sometimes I've seen that they become more important than the family. And sometimes that you are so emotionally begin to depend on that person that
yes,
a lot of
yes,
you
yes.
understand? Yes,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
absolutely. I
hmm,
have a very close friend of mine. I will not name him because he's not allowed me to. But he is in a relationship with a girl, and
हाँ,
वो है ना, वो बंदा वो जब भी शाम को आता है ना, वो रात को 9 बजे आता है.
हाँ,
From his he has his own he has his own shop in nearby. So he comes
हाँ,
back home, and रात को he has to call his girlfriend.
wow,
Every single day he has to call his girlfriend. Call it romantic or call it boring, he has to do it. Whether he likes it or not, he has to do it. No,
okay,
no choice. So वो मेरे बाजू में बैठता है, and he is on a phone and he is talking to her. And
ah,
then we have to say bye. चलो bye. It's 10 and I have to go and you have to go. So
right,
many times I tell him that you do this every day. You call me and you are on your call. So why did
ah,
you call me?
right,
Okay. So he said, hey, I have to understand. We might get married someday. I have to invest in her, and and
oh,
and and then when he cuts the call, sometimes he complains also. Okay, she never understands this, or she. I said, you can take a break. It's okay. It's okay. It's all right. It's life, and so I think that disturbs them mentally also,
yes,
because
absolutely,
because because you're spending hours and hours doing something every day in growing yourself, and if you're mentally disturbed with all those thoughts, it's not a pleasant experience.
Right.
And the worst thing is, if eventually it did not work out, you know,
Mhm.
वो तो और भी बुरा लगता है. Right?
All that time wasted,
Yeah,
all that time gone. Yeah.
yeah,
True, true, true,
yeah.
true. Yeah. Arjun, this is something I'm not missing at all. I think we had a good time in my generation because
I would like to know from you also, if I get if you allow me,
yes, please.
what was it like in your generation? Like how would people look at marriage in your time?
Okay, in my time, Arjun, it was beautiful in the sense that there was the freedom to meet the person and say no to the person. At the same
Wow,
time, there was the safety of boundaries. There were clear-cut boundaries. You didn't cross those boundaries.
wow,
You were able to conserve yourself, you were able to stay safe, which is not something that your generation thinks highly of. I don't think you all think being safe a big thing, but I feel that
true,
it did
true,
save us a lot of wear and tear. I was able to focus on my own growth.
wow,
I had a committed friend for life who was a first hand witness to all I did with my time, and
wow,
loyal to each
wow,
other, committed to each other, and raised a family together, did fulfilled your responsibilities basically. Now
wow.
I find that young people, it bothers me, it disturbs me. I don't
Yes,
enjoy seeing young
yes,
people losing their life force literally at times. Your
wastage.
potency, you're losing your potency to
Yes,
things which don't last, which are not
yes,
lasting, which are ephemeral,
yes,
which are not very substantial. And there is
yes.
this fluffy picture of a love and what it's supposed to be, which is not what it is in
True,
reality. I'm
true,
sorry,
true.
it's a little
No, it's true.
different.
It's true.
Yeah,
That's
that's
why
all.
I said earlier that we need to focus in our own Indian culture. What you are
Yes.
saying is the true Indian culture, because by that time the Western culture had not been so influenced in your
Hmm.
time. Now it has, and I will call it stupid to copy someone just because it looks good. You know, it is not. And like I said, there are better things to do. Believe me, and I'm saying it with full confidence because I've interviewed so many people. Uh, you know, if anybody was to know
Hmm.
what is the right way to do, I think it is I am one of those persons because I'm seeing India in a very different way,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
I'm seeing 17-year-old making it huge on the internet, having 100K followers out of nothing in just 2 months, 3 months.
Yes.
And they did it because they wanted to focus in their talent. They wanted to provide value to people. They're
Hmm.
investing themselves, and they could have rather gone into a relationship and do nothing, but
Absolutely.
they chose to do something valuable. They chose to make a significant difference. I think that drop of awareness, if we are able to pass on to the current generation, I think uh, India will be a much better place,
Yes. And this
especially the youth, because they are the majority. Yeah, yeah,
absolutely, absolutely, they're the majority. They are the majority.
yeah.
And this idea, Arjun, that love is not jealousy, it is not exclusivity, which is the notion young people have at a certain age, the kind of
True,
possessiveness, that is not what real love is, right? So
true,
that can be very misleading. Yeah.
true. That's
Thank you, Arjun, for making all those points.
right. Thank you.
And any last famous words, or shall we call it a
I
night?
would like to say that I've been very fortunate enough to have a parents who does not force me to get married. I think
Mhm.
Satab Shadi stands on that belief that we should do it because we genuinely want to do it, not because someone else is doing it, तो हमको भी करना है.
Hmm.
So I think your platform is a very great platform for a lot of people, and genuinely we should focus on growing ourselves. If we are happy, we'll automatically make others happy. If we are not happy, it's going to show in every way. So
Ab-
call it chote muh badi baat, but I think that's true. So I
Yes,
think empower yourself first and then empower others. Become
absolutely.
happy yourself first and then make others happy.
Absolutely. You have
So
to
yeah,
have something to offer to the other person before you take them
yeah,
on. True.
yeah, yeah. So
Thank
yeah,
you.
that's thank you for calling me. Thank you for this wonderful platform. It was I'm really grateful, and thank you for reminding me all that and motivating me once again that this kind of signals me that okay, you're going in the right direction. Because if someone has experience as you is telling me, "Ki, yeah, you're doing good, so I'm genuinely doing good."
Yes. Fantastic. All the best, Arjun. Take care and shut up, Shadi, for a while. Bye bye, everyone. Bye bye.